Good morning. Hello, hello, hello. I am Bree. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's early morning where I am in the US. I hope you guys have been having a great week, a great day whenever you happen to be able to see this video. We're going to jump into a reading and we're going to find out what happens to the toxic karmic people in your life for all the things they've done and have been doing to you. What's the karma coming towards them? Fallen is for the fallen. So thanks so much to all my returning subscribers and new subscribers. Appreciate you real deal people out there. Make sure you set your intentions for the first day of fall for harvest season, which is the 22nd in the US. And God, please go ahead and let us know. Thank you for your presence, your omnipresence in our lives. Thank you so much. Please let us know. What do you have in store for the karmics who've been down here hurting earth angels, attacking God's children? Can you tell us what's coming for the people who attack God's children, who participate in illicit deeds to hurt and harm God's children? Can you tell us what's happening with the karmic people who deliberately hurt and harm God's children, who deliberately suppress God's children, who deliberately oppress God's children, who deliberately steal from God's children? Aquarius could be involved. We certainly know that highly intellectual beings are involved in making a change. We have a feminine angelic figure in this particular deck that represents the star energy. And often you see a foot on land in a traditional tarot deck, and then one hand like pouring into the lake and such. But here we see pure water being poured into a dirty street. Some cleanup happening of some toxicity. People reached out to the heavens answered. There's about to be a big cleanup of some nastiness in the streets. It's about to be purified. As you can see, her water bottle here. Let me get my light. Her water bottle is pouring pure water onto the ground, and it looks like a star shape, the same star in the heavens here. And then you see the hydrant back here also flooding out pure water into the sewer system, and that's basically cleaning the trash out. And we know that's what process we're in right now, sweeping the trash out the universe. Air sign could be heavily involved in this. Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. Anything else, God? Can you tell us what's happening with the people who intentionally hurt people of the world, who intentionally commit crimes against humanity, who intentionally break universal law, man's law, corrupt man's law so that they could break it and harm others? Can you tell us what's coming towards these energies, God? Make sure you go check the other karmic readings. There is a buildup. All right, looks like they're going to have changes in their business structure. If they're in the process of building, that'll halt. Businesses will come to a halt involved. It took a structure to harm people, and the structure is going to be dismantled. Somebody on a positive side is going to see business success after being suppressed and oppressed. The suppression in your work arena, it's going to have public light shown on it. This is a big structure. The public will know about the work structure. If you've been having trouble finding a job, if you've been going through things like excessive interviews where it feels like weird, it's an odd interview. People just wasting your time and things like that because they're trying to gather information on a weak point that they can, they're looking for a point of vulnerability in you in a working arena, and they only expose their own through the grace of God, God's plan. So by trying to make wishes to suppress your business, they full stopped and brought a full halt to their own structures of evil. And if that hasn't happened, it's in the process and it's coming in your own life. And you see like a snowball effect outwardly of the people who directly participated in this harm towards you. They're going to fail. They're going to have catastrophic failure of these work systems that they use to encage you. They're going to lose money. Various people, various ways, various groups. We got this 7 and the 3, the pinnacle side by side. That's a 10. This work in city situation is coming to completion if it hasn't already. This false structure, this false grid that blacked out the city here. Cities worth of people involved in demonic activities against you and oppression and suppression of your work, your light, your truth, all around. Attempts to suppress every aspect of your life, so they're going to have failure in every aspect that they are involved in. No restitution. Nobody's made any form of restitution to you. Gods aren't happy. So what they took is going to be taken. And it's going to be given back to those who it rightfully belongs to with interest supplied by the gods. This is significant karma for any and everything involved. It's unredeemable karma. There's been no effort to make any sort of anything better for you. Every step has been made to disrupt you, make you uncomfortable, prevent you from doing what you're on this planet to do. And that's a corruption of people's destiny, whether they use magic to do it or they paid people off. You corrupted people's destinies and they're being restored. And yours is going to be changed because of it. Justice is coming in. This is, again, a complete failure of their systems used to oppress, suppress truth, light, fact, suppress people from their rightful earnings through God's eyes for their cycle completions and just where you're supposed to be in life. We see another air sign here in the form of a Libra, so we know that God is coming in to balance the scales, but with this Libra right next to the failure card, a Libra, could have been directly involved in this, suppressing your workplace. You could have had a Libra calling your boss, telling them, oh, this person doesn't work hard or anything like that. That's coming to an end. You have a Libra that's going to be facing justice as well, who played a role in this. You're getting a new start anyway. You get a new start that's more abundant. You'll be more well-traveled. You'll have more funds. But this situation will be memorialized. There'll be memorials for the victims of these crimes and this oppression in different places because God is going to honor the victims of hate and oppression and suppression while the oppressor is going through its dark night of the soul, karmic cycles in prison, and so on. So it looks like you're getting justice, and if you haven't received justice, it's coming in soon. We have 3 major arcanas here. There's a complete failure, complete justice coming to a work environment, work system. Whatever they didn't give you, they have to give you that plus a lot more. Whatever they stole from you, they have to give you that plus a lot more. This is also with the justice card here, clearing of all misinformation, clearing of your name, exposing of who they really are. Blind justice, eye for an eye justice. If you committed the crime, you should be more than ready to do the time because you knew when you committed the crime that there was a possibility that you would get caught. and you were okay with that. This could have caused disruptions in your health. This could have caused disruptions in any of your technologies and communicating and getting your word out or anything of the sort. They could have tried to cause illness, put you in the hospital, pierce your heart, but you're still moving away with victory. And basically, all those things that they shot towards you, sent your way to hurt and harm you, are going to be their downfall reasons. They're going to be exposed for every jab they ever took at you. They're going to be exposed for every penny they ever stole from you. They're going to be exposed for every system they tried to drop you in. And every single person involved has got to get exposed. Because they chose that. Like I said, you're moving towards victory. You will have a successful business, despite those who might be trying to suppress your business because they don't understand the next steps. They could be trying to suppress your business through social media, but let's just say, for instance, that social media is not going to even exist. So what's the point? Let's say they're trying to suppress you from telling the truth to the public about the things that they're doing to the public. But what's the point of suppressing the truth when God's got it coming out anyway? Can you stop God? Or are you just committing more offenses and slapping God in the face and spitting on God every day because you're evil and you don't want to give up the money you stole and you don't want people to see your true face and what you do behind closed doors that you shouldn't have did, because you do have to pay restitution to all your victims. Nobody is absolvable or above universal law. Nothing and no one. And fall is for the fallen. So you have a victory coming in minimum 6 arenas, potentially minimum 6 streams of income. Let's say there were multiple employers involved in this. You have streams of income regardless of any statute of limitation. God has an eminent domain. They're going to pay you for everything they took. Let's say somebody overcharged you in a bill. They got to pay you for everything they took with God's interest. You have God-ordained public defenders that are going to ensure the failure of this nasty system. We see the kind of structure that's behind her here. She's got godly protection. This public defender here definitely got angelic protection all around her and within this system to ensure God's victory. It's just designed that way. So this could be a fire sign. You could have fire highly aspected in your chart and your north node, which is why you have such a passionate sense of justice, or your top 3 placements, because you're not going to be walked over and have your rights taken from you and then have your voice taken from you to prove that your rights were taken. No, God's here. God's going to support you and every other person who's been made to suffer in the same fashion. Because unfortunately, it's just karma time, and everybody has to suffer the karma for the evil, nasty things that they're out there doing. Again, another new start, fresh, new, clear justice, new system of justice, universal justice being ushered in like it was supposed to a long time ago while we were suffering under greedy, nasty regimes. But this demonic energy got to go. It's getting cleared out. God's sweeping out the universe and just going to bring in what it's supposed to be. So, try not to sweat this that much. I know it might be difficult for those of you who might be still going to a workplace or maybe still being followed around your community, watched in your homes and things of that nature. But don't worry, all of those people, they got to go to jail. They're watching you for illicit, trumped up fake reasons, and that's going to be proven. And then on top of it, the very people watching you are the very people stealing from you. So how do they have the audacity to create fake reasons to stalk, harass, or watch you, and then get mad because you speak up and say, well, you're stalking, you're harassing me, you told me to speak up, but then you suppress my voice through social media and bring in your gang stalkers and stuff. So all of those are violations of not only universal rights, universal law and all of that, but in America, constitutional rights and such, freedom of speech. They're even their own user agreement violations. But with that said, God doesn't care. And these people broke their contracts with God, their covenants with God. So God, can you tell me what else is happening for these toxic karmic people? We see their business is failure. We see structure failing, false structure, demonic structure failing. We see new day, new dawn, happiness coming into the energy of the world. We see passions and blessings coming into the energy of the world. We see a cleansing of the darkness here. Anything else, God? Can you let us know specifically what they were doing, what karma you have in store for these nasty things who wake up every day and try to think of new nasty things and new ways to suppress and hurt somebody? As fall is for the fallen. God, can you talk to us about what you have in store for the people who walk against God and God's children? Thank you so much. Okay. We're going to start here. So some of you have a toxic karmic sister that is going to jail. Change your passwords. Again, we mentioned how, these people could have had access to your electronics and things of that nature. You probably got all the proof you need to tie it back to every single person and entity or group that's involved and should not have ever had access. They could have doxed you, put your address, phone number, workplace, and anything else out into a community. They could have released it through an application, dark web, Facebook groups, and things of that nature. So people could drive in and fly in just to harass and stalk you. And you got family, specifically a sister, involved in this. Large organizations stalking and harassing you. Work, groups, agencies. Someone is correcting their mistakes. I think God is correcting these evil people's mistakes because we know that they aren't. It's just a narrow path for them. They either go right or they go left, and they seem to still be going left, which is awesome for you and awesome for every other great being of the world, because obviously if they were going to make restitution, they wouldn't still be following you, tracking you, trying to intimidate you or hurt you or harass you in any way, shape, or form. They wouldn't be taking one person out just to bring another person in. It's just like doubling and tripling down on all of their offenses that they have to pay you for. So God's just going to come in and correct the mistakes that they continue to make to cause their failure, because they want to keep the secrets of how they hurt people secret and how they, basically try to enslave and entrap people secret. Well, too bad. You shouldn't have done it. Add RTS wishes to all of your prayers to God. So when you're praying, make sure you're praying that, God returns the evil that's being sent your way back to the person or persons who sent it to you, but make that a part of your prayer. God, please return this evil back immediately to whoever sent it. Keep me blocked, cleansed, and protected. Make sure you're doing your spiritual bath, spiritual protection, sage, whatever you do every single day. Continue to do this while the rest of this nasty energy is being swept out of the universe. Toxic karmic, crime fits, angry outbursts. So it looks like you got some toxic karmics around you having angry outbursts and crime fits and being emotionally distraught over their actions against you. Their actions were a choice. Many people were paid to do this. Toxic karmic friends are or have turned on them. So all these toxics are having their so-called friends and criminal buddies and their groups and stuff. They're all turning on one another because they know justice is coming. And you have some of the smarter ones going in, like we discussed in previous readings, going in and bringing evidence on some of the more higher up players, so that this all part of it all coming out. Use white salt. Like I said, you should be taking salt baths and everything every day. Salt scrubs with pure white salt, Palo Santo, sage, frankincense, myrrh, whatever works for you. Toxic group exposed on TV due to an investigation. So we see all of this come into light. You're going to get accepted or receive an advancement coming up during this time. Your job situations or anything, God's got something set up for you and in place. They're probably running around behind something that is not going to exist trying to prevent you from telling the truth. They will settle out of court as a result of it because they know they're guilty of sin. Toxic karmics robbery exposed, and they'll be arrested. So like we talked about earlier, there have been people stealing from you, whether they're shaving off of your paycheck in some kind of a way, not paying you overtime, not giving you the proper benefits, vacation time, whatever it is supposed to be. They're robbing you in that way. It could be the place that you live. You could be paying rent for things that you don't have. You could be being disturbed in the place that you live, and that was all set up. That'll all be, seen, and you'll recover what you've paid. You'll get your damages. You'll get your interest because it was all set up from the start. And they'll be arrested and lose their properties. They've heard rumors because they created the rumors about you, trying to slander your name, keep you out of work situations, keep your truth from being heard. But now they have to back up those rumors in court because it's slander and defamation. And they're not going to be able to provide falsified evidence in order to do it. So when you get to places like that and you know everything that you're doing is based on a lie, you kind of want to settle out of court because you don't want everybody to know the full nasty details of these public court cases that aren't going to be sealed. You need to do something nice for yourself. So once you get this settlement out of court and things, make sure you're giving yourself self-care. You take time for a vacation and to clear and purify yourself from the remaining residual nasty energy of your stalkers and harassers and all these people that'll be in jail anyway. Then you have a toxic karmic female friend that's going to get arrested as part of this. This could have been a best friend. You could have worked with them, could have grew up with them, you could have went to school with them, you could have lived with them. But they're going to get arrested as part of this crime ring. Then we have toxic karmics. Crimes are pages long. They're dead wrong. They have horrible karma and they're going to jail. So if you were to line up any one of these karmics crimes and print it out on an 8x11 piece of paper, they would have several sheets of letter-sized paper for all the crimes they've committed against you and others for many years. And who can fight that in court when they know they're guilty? And there's more than ample evidence. You're going to say God's lying? I doubt it. Toxic karmics arrested as a family and then groups. So you had groups of people ganging up on you, groups of family members, groups of friends. And they'll be arrested, some of them in that fashion, in their groups. Incoming land or property to you. These are earned rewards. We kind of talked about that just a few seconds ago, how, maybe you live in a rental and the property owner is a part of gang stalking and group stalking. And maybe they got together with your employer and so-called friends to group stalk you. And from the first day you moved into your townhouse, apartment, condo, you've been nothing but harassed by every tenant there. And every tenant there is really there just to watch you. Well, these are the types of things that are going to come out because they're watching you for illicit reasons, trying to keep you in a grid of slavery system that is false and fake, and certainly against everything in the universe and against every God. To try to keep you in a system of slavery so that they can break you financially and make you reliant on them or the system. In some cases, they want you homeless, in jail, or hospitalized. And this is their intent, and this is why they attack you, because they want you to have the outburst and feel like you can't prove who is attacking you because they think they're hidden and cloaked or somehow have some sort of a godly protection or something, but they should have thought about it because they don't. You're being blessed with a new, calm, loving, peaceful cycle. It's godly reward. So you'll be moving or receiving some sort of a property coming up soon. And then you're also going to be moving into, if you haven't already, a much more peaceful cycle, the cycle you were supposed to be in. If all of these groups, agencies, organizations, so-called friends and family members didn't collectively participate in groups of, 20, 100 or more to take from you what was rightfully yours, whether that was your health, your mental stability, your privacy, get you in bad contracts, whether that be from cars, and then they break the cars and set the cars up, and then they'll have your employer stop giving you work so that you quit. It's just things like that. It's all organized and set up to cause you to stay within a system that doesn't even exist anymore, that's being shown to the entirety of the world. And if you didn't want to be shown as part of this and you're sitting around suppressing people's rights, then you shouldn't have involved yourself. You should have done what you were ordained to do in your entrusted positions. And you shouldn't have violated nobody's rights for money, because you're going to have to pay it back. Increase in business and work. So yeah, these people were trying to affect you and your steps. They could have set you up on false interviews with other companies to the highest bidder in a bidder system. In some cases, to waste your time. In some cases, these people truly wanted you to work with them so that they could bring you in and do the same thing your previous employer did, sabotage your work, bring people in to sabotage you, bring vendors, contractors, and whatever in to harm and hurt you on a daily basis, and they're just going to get exposed for it. And you're still going to get your increase in business, regardless of what avenue they think you're going to take. They probably don't even know what your business name is going to be, but probably try to go copyright something stupidly. Just all kinds of things that are going to show exactly what they're doing, show unfair competition, show suppression of people's rights to speak and say whatever they want to. And then they're going to have to go to court and prove this person to be a liar. And that is going to be impossible. So you also have a toxic male friend who's getting arrested. This could be somebody you felt is annoying. You could have already cut yourself off from because they are annoying. You could have saw through this toxic male energy that they were karmic, not really a friend. But anyway, looks like they're getting arrested as part of this as well. Or someone who tried to portray themselves as your friend. They slandered and lied on your name, participated in rumors, so they might be going to jail for defamation and slander and any other thing that they did as part of this crime ring, this organized attack against you, and many, many others. Because you can't organize things like this without leaving a trail. Especially not on this scale. Especially with as long as, investigations have been open. And we all know you can't hide from the eyes of God. But it looks like we did have, like I said, dark magic kind of popped out. And we saw the need to keep your energy clear. So that's a straight indication that dark magic was being used. But, the way in which that works now, it's a big part of the reason you're getting your karma and getting exposed, because they still do it. You probably had a lot of people. This is the 20th. You probably had a lot of people howling at the moon and stuff and trying to do dark magic and stuff. And that's just ridiculous. And thank you. Congratulations. You played yourself. Like they keep doing. Anybody involved in this at this point absolutely wants to get caught and have every single skeleton in their closet exposed. No restitution, no effort to correct any of their intentional acts and harms and crimes against humanity. Employer sucks, criminal at your current job. So if you're currently working, you can have a criminal employer, manager, or supervisor. That could be why you're leaving. They're off their path. Then they try to get you off your path, but they got to wave the white flag because of that bad energy and bad vibe they threw your way, and all the stuff they tried to do to harm and hurt you is going back to them. Childbirth and fertility coming up for many of you who happen to be within that range, be in a relationship or whatever and what have you. These new cycles, you'll see fertility. Financially, of course, we've already seen those cards, but this is literal childbirth. You could already have a child, be planning for another. You could have a pregnancy coming up after this time. After these things start wrapping up or during this time, you could find out that you're pregnant. But we have a toxic karmic. He is not the father, and that's going to be exposed. So with this childbirth energy, you could have a new energy coming into your life who's going to find out they're not the child of a karmic's, they're not the father of a karmic's child. This child could be, in gestation in this woman's belly, or this child could already be on this earth. But somebody's going to find out they're not the father of a child that they think they are, or potentially have been supporting. And that's going to get exposed during this time. They are having a mental breakdown. Try not to face their karma. It's impossible. You can't run from your karma. And people, it's just an accountability phase that we're in. They're not going to be able to lie to themselves and make it seem like all the horrible things they did to you was your fault. No, nobody deserves to enact revenge on their victim for telling the truth. You're a moron. You're probably psycho, schizophrenic. You probably need to be talking to a therapist or psychiatrist seriously about your damage, your jealousy, your mommy and daddy issues that make you think you're superior to somebody. You should control somebody and keep them in cage. That's your fault. You participated in that, and you're going to take accountability for it because God said so, and you don't get to tell God otherwise. You've already broken every universal law you possibly could. You're getting a transportation upgrade during this time, whether that's repairs to a vehicle for some reason or a brand new vehicle. There'll be a transportation upgrade. A lot of people, unfortunately, who suffered through anything like this had their vehicles sabotaged, whether that was brakes, tires, serious mechanical things, steering columns, kill switches, and things of that nature. I can't wait for you guys to see what happened to me and how my cars. But anyway, just to get you into a contract, maybe you had a vehicle that didn't have a car note on it, ran perfectly fine until they disabled it in some kind of a way. Now you have a vehicle with a car note, but they disabled that vehicle too. Well, they got to get busted for that. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of crime. You're trying to kill somebody. You don't set up somebody's vehicle if you're not trying to cause them and the general public some serious harm. How are you going to explain that you're doing that for justice? You're trying to harm an innocent person and have that innocent person get in a car and potentially hurt several other innocent people. You're criminals. Toxic karmics arrested out of state, town, or the country. So you're going to have people getting arrested all around you, some of which you will hear of and some of which you won't, but they will all be involved in this toxic system here of hate. They don't even pay taxes. So that not only are they stealing your money through businesses, through property, through utilities, through contracts that are falsified, through utilities and things like that, through breaking your devices, hacking in your devices, setting you up in work employer situations that are horrific, not to mention trying to stop you from having any sort of a business, but they don't even pay taxes. What do you know? What do you know? You can't be surprised. Toxic karmics can't remove dark oaths they took. The karma is horrific. Probably shouldn't have broken a covenant or tried to break a covenant with God to write one with something that doesn't exist. That was probably stupid and left you without any form of spiritual protection in the heavens or elsewhere for all that demonic shit that you be calling up on people to help you commit your crimes against humanity. That's dumb. It's going to be weird when I get shown to the public. You're going to have job and business success because they tried to keep it from you. They tried to suppress you, your rights, your truth, your ability to have a business in a free country. And the groups and organizations involved in this are the very ones that should be supporting you. So that's going to look really weird when they fail and have to go to court because they did the exact opposite of what they were supposed to do. So anyway, you have another indication of an increase in work and job and business actual success that's not suppressed. You still have time. Don't rush. Don't be in a rush. God's got this. They're probably in a rush because they don't know what you're doing. They don't know what's coming. They don't know how to do anything but stay on the left path and not make restitution and make it worse for themselves. Think twice about any big decisions coming in. Don't take any offers from anybody who has funky energy, who reminds you of anything karmic from the past, whether it's in work, life, or any other love. Don't take any bad offers. Think twice before you do. Meditate. Make sure it's the right thing for you. Somebody with a July birthday is involved in this. Could be that sister, friend, or one of those friends or something that's going to jail, or that could be your birthday, or this new energy coming in. Toxic karmics can't sleep or rest because they're having guilty thoughts. That's part of the accountability phase. They don't get to project and pretend like they're not guilty. They have to face their truths like a real man or real woman would, not live in delusion and illusions of the things that they try to project on you. If they get up and hurt you, they're just going to have to face that. Toxic karmic, he is the father. So a toxic male karmic is going to find out that they are, in fact, the father of the child and not the divine masculine. So you have somebody potentially with a July birthday during this time finding out that another karmic man is the father of a child that could be in gestation in a woman's stomach or here, and he's already been paying child support, but it's not his child. It's very likely a family or friend. Anyway, puppet master is off to jail. The person pulling the strings in all of this situation is going to jail, whether they want to believe that or not, whether they think they're in a position that God can't put them in jail or not. That's absurd. You have big changes coming in 1 or 2 weeks, and you also have sleep people going to jail within the next 1 or 2 weeks involved in this situation. It's a win-win for you. They tried to hurt you, damage you. All they did was make you stronger. The mere fact that they suppress you, your truth, your light, and your voice is going to be a huge reason why you get paid anyway. All the attacks and horrific crimes that they've committed for you has only risen you in spiritual ranks and increased the amount of money all these groups, agencies, and individuals have to pay you for stalking, harassing, and participating in this fight choice. Big changes are coming to you, but they're also coming to them. Hurt themselves trying to play you. Again, a lot of these people did this for a little bit of money. A lot of people did this just because they saw a minority and they were like, oh, we don't want this minority to live their potential. We don't want this minority to live free. We don't want this woman to do what she's supposed to do. We don't want this person to have the job they're supposed to have by God. We don't want this person to have the business they were ordained and contracted to have by God when they got here. We're going to take it. That doesn't work. God doesn't play that. So God sent a powerful VIP or VIPs to assist you. I bet he did. And I bet they know nothing about it. They probably don't even know when they're getting arrested or who's watching them or how. They probably have no idea how long you've known you've been under attack. You have a lucky break coming in. Your wants and needs will be provided for, so don't find yourself going back to this toxic system. It's about to be publicly exposed anyway. They've done so much to try to suppress it that they brought it to the light. So they should get ready to speak up. Because they're going to have to do a lot of speaking up in jail and in court. And in just a few days, you have some significant changes happening, potentially this lucky break. This could be your move for those of you who are already planning a move. This could be your business success, your success with a new job that is not a perp ops company, that's actually a good company that doesn't involve gang stalking, get involved in gang stalking employees and things of that nature in just a few days. Toxic karmics, medical and insurance fraud is going to be exposed. Well, we know that's rampant and particularly in the US, and they got a lot of money they got to pay back to their victims. They are broken and need healing. Like, for instance, in my own particular case, I can't wait till we get to prove it too. And all the times that I was sick, they just got to pay me back for those medical bills, any dings to credit and things like that, because it was falsified and trumped up in the first place. How are you going to make somebody pay for being sick when you made them sick? That seems weird. That seems demonic. That seems against God. And it seems like it's part of a system to keep people with bad credit, not able to move forward, build businesses, get nice homes that aren't gang stalking, government funded, basically, and things like that. Looks like it's all part of the same system that's failing. Toxic karmics come in town to commit crimes are arrested. So those coming into town specifically to harm you, stalk you, hurt you, and all these horrific things, they're going to be arrested too. They committed crime. They came into town and committed crimes across state lines. They came into town specifically to commit crimes, and they're going to be arrested too, probably in their home states. home countries and things of that nature, but they will be arrested. Nobody's culpable. Everybody's going to be held accountable in God's eyes, and very publicly at that. I know I keep saying that, but y'all going to start saying it even more, even though they try to suppress the news. That's going to be an impossibility. Anyway, let's see. Anything else, God? Anything else you want to add to this reading? These toxic energies. You see the beauty coming in for the high vibing angelic beings that work with you. Your lambs of God. What else is happening to the sheep that are being led to slaughter by the devil, that chose to take an oath with the devil over their covenant with God, that they contracted themselves or they wouldn't even be on this earth? Toxic karmics, chakras are binded closed by the divine. So they'll never have any sort of alignment. They're going to be going through some serious psychological and they're going to have to face their psychological issues. They're not going to have a connection to the divine. If you can't connect to your chakras, you can't connect to the divine, can't connect to your higher self. So they've been closed off. They've been closed off to the divine. They have karma to clear. Real news will be believed. Dismantled fake news. I just spoke on that, and how they suppress real news and things that are happening behind the scenes involved in these people getting arrested and stuff. But it's going to come out anyway, and God's going to ensure it. There's been a lot of hiding, covering up, suppressing of information, suppressing of people's rights, truths, and things of that nature, setups and things of that nature. And it's just going to be exposed because everybody has a right when they take their positions to choose to do the right thing or go left. And many people chose to go left and are in entrusted positions that they're going to lose. So, the criminals know they can't trust the other criminals. They're scared, karmics now. Why would you get yourself involved in a criminal organization? You want the karma coming for you for everything that you do to hurt humanity, to hurt strangers, to keep people in toxic, demonic cycles that aren't ordained by God. It's just really stupid. Toxic karmics, moving locations, trying to hide. So you have people actually trying to go into hiding, which is pathetic, because, they're probably all in your face trying to make you feel uncomfortable, trying to intimidate you like they're powered, with their words, but they're never going to do anything to you because they're trying to provoke you. So you could have all these neighbors shouting things at you. I had a neighbor get recorded calling me a stupid bitch. Like, I'm not going to even get on my IQ, considering he's not a real neighbor and what they brought him here for. But he probably shouldn't have directly stood in front of my window and called me a stupid bitch after watching me day after day, being recorded watching me in my apartment, standing over me while I bathe and take a shower as he plays with himself. I'm just going to keep it real because all this is coming out super fast. It's just things like that. You can have somebody across the way in your apartment. You can go to your kitchen, start cooking. You can be on the phone. You could be laughing at a video. And somebody's telling you, we don't care about your philosophy. How can you hear inside my home? How do you know what my philosophy on life is? How do you have access to my computers? How do you have access to see inside my house? How do you have access to my phone? Oh, because you're part of a system and a grid of destruction and hate, and you're going to jail. So I hope you have deep pockets. What am I supposed to do? Take advice from mattress backs? I'm supposed to take advice from people with childlike IQ levels when they are 10-year-olds in Ivy League colleges? Are you kidding me? There are children smarter than these people. Toxic karmics. Someone who cannot beat you now wants to join you. So you have a toxic karmic trying to come back. They're so toxic. Stay away from these people. A refund or gift card will be given to you soon. It's a blessing. Toxic karmics, homes, mansions, businesses raided by law enforcement. Again, we have investigations going on. These people do all kind of illicit things at their homes and their cars and their businesses and all over the world. And they've just been watched for a long time doing it. And their homes and doors get kicked in now. Businesses get to get taped up. And you get to go to jail and not collect $200 because you've been stealing and shaving off money for so long. Anyway, God sent job or business is coming in. We keep seeing references to you still having success because they're still trying to stop your success, but you can't stop anything God has for you. And the mere fact that they would have tried to prevent and suppress you from telling your truth or building your business or having your great job after college or whatever it is, they have to pay for it. This is calculated and systematic suppression and oppression that comes at a financial price. They gain finances from it, then you have to pay a lot more than you gain. And that's just how it goes. That's universal law. Quick financial recovery, God sent to you. Again, you can't suppress somebody else's business. Not only is that unfair competition just in the US, it's against universal law. Anyway, each of your hacked devices will be replaced by the offenders. It's part of your judgment to, once you've proven in court or however this goes, mediation, because it looks like many of them are going to be settling out of court. You'll get new devices. They'll have to replace every device they broke and hacked into over the years, because I'm sure there is more than enough tangible proof. And they've had so many people connected to your things that it would probably be pretty impossible to prove otherwise. You know? It would probably be pretty impossible to prove that they haven't done these malicious, illicit things to you. I'm just looking at my phone right now. I'm sitting right next to my internet. It was playing fine. I always play back my videos now because of, the hacking video that you guys are going to get to see when it's truly public. But I shouldn't really be having all the Wi-Fi issues that I have. I have a new box from AT&T and don't miss a payment. But it gets bypassed by the people upstairs. Anyway, with that said, paper money is being given to you as well during this time. We'll just leave that right there for now. Paper money is being given to you at this time as well because you're blessed and you don't do these evil things. You mind your business, you live your life, you work, and you honor your contract with God that got you on this planet in the first place. And these people don't like that. That's too bad. They're not going to like being in jail and exposed for the filth that they chose to be either. They're probably not going to like people knowing who they really are, or they wouldn't try so hard to suppress you, suppress your truth, suppress your freedoms, and suppress your rights. All based on a lie. All based on a demonic system that's dismantled. Okay. That's going to be supported in court. Toxic karmics. Companies that blacklist will fail. Extremely bad karma. No recovery. They'll be in jail anyway. They don't have to worry about it. They don't have to worry about it. I remember I had somebody not that long ago request that I come in for a fake interview. Obviously, I get gang stalked and everything. Request that I come in for an interview, and she talked at me for 2 hours and told me that her husband sells pipe along the West Coast. I mean, this is too easy at this point. This is too easy. Toxic karmics who abuse their spouses are getting arrested. As you guys saw or will see when my videos actually go up on a different way, the suppression. I can't wait to show you my background and when I'm recording, what happens on the inside of my apartment and things when I'm recording, and subsequently the organization around my community when I'm recording. Because again, they don't know how long they've been being watched. These are idiots who believe in the devil and don't believe in God. They think their technology is superior to anything that was given to them in the first place. It's really stupid. I'm not going to even get into all of that because it's going to be very public very soon, particularly with them being such on deep down this left path and nowhere near the right path. All right, toxic karmic, mother or father going to jail or both. You can have toxic parents involved in this. These people could be somebody else's parents. They'll be going to jail for their involvement. This could be a toxic karmic baby father that you have, a toxic karmic baby mother that you have. But if they did any of these crimes committed against you, they're going to jail. It's simple. Regardless of their role, position, it doesn't really matter. God doesn't care about that. God ordains positions, even if they're even in the position they're supposed to be. A lot of people steal their positions, they buy their positions and things like that. They're not even the people God ordained to be in those positions in the first place, so they'll be stripped anyway. Because you weren't meant to be in that position. You stole it and you took from others to get there. You manipulated systems and people to do it. And you use magic and things like that. And that's done. Fall is for the fallen. You made it this way. Your nasty actions, demonic deeds that have no place in the universe. That God created, not the devil. And God has dominion over, not a devil, who is a fallen angel and weak. Don't get me started on devil and antichrist, but they are not one and the same. But yeah, what do you do when all of your demonic kings were powered by magic and the Antichrist, and the Antichrist is dying and you don't have magic? What do you do? Your legal team is hand selected by God. You will win. We've established that already. Toxic karmics will be injured in an attempt to harm you. Blocked by God. So you can still have people coming at you, trying to harm you, set you up in different ways, set your cars up, set your home up, set your job up. It doesn't matter. They're coming at you, trying to harm you. I have so many recorded. I have no less than 3 recorded attempted car accidents. My team has no less than 3 in a certain time frame that were completely coordinated against me. Got the coordination and everything. So it's going to be hard for like a 65-year-old woman in a Tesla to say she didn't intentionally try to run me off the road and we can prove it. But anyway, toxic karmics don't know God placed human watchers in all of their groups, organizations, and societies long ago. This is a big part of the reason why they're getting busted. They basically have spies within their own organizations that they party with, laugh with, pillow talk with, and they've been there forever. Toxic karmics, finances are going to be frozen because they're criminals, and they do have quite a lot of restitution to pay. They probably could have paid a lot less by paying early, by avoiding court, avoiding dragging this out so long. But when you're dealing with such egotistical, sadistic maniacs who think that their system is untouchable, and that because it's been going on so long, God is never going to do anything about it. God is never going to make sure people are truly free and truly free from slavery and organize this and that disrupt their life. It's a moronic. It's really a moronic thought process. Next time, missed opportunity. Maybe next lifetime they'll get it right. I doubt it. I would bet they're going to be doing a lot of hell karma cycles and might not even come back because it's a blessing. Anyway, a change in your routine. We see you moving. We see job changes. We see business changes. We see a new potential relationship coming in for some of you singles out there with a non-karmic person who could already have a child and unfortunately find out that child is with a karmic or not the child at all. But anyway, changing your routine is coming. Your change and your routine change their routine. I know when my routine changed, a neighbor that always left to go to work a few minutes before me, all of a sudden sits at home with me all day, every day, just watching me. Had a different routine before I quit my job. When I quit my job, after being harassed, stalked, and attacked and hacked by my employers, the entire community went nuts that day. You should see what we recorded around town. And it's weird because I worked for a relatively small company, so it would be odd for anybody in a town the size that I'm in to know in my 10, 15-minute drive home to be able to react in such a way. I had people show up at a gas station thinking they weren't on film. It's ridiculous. And I cannot wait because I'm personally getting bored and I can't wait for vacation. So I can't wait to kick off these lawsuits because I'm getting tired and I'm bored. I realize you cannot be replaced. It's too late. You know, a lot of us earth angels are sitting here for very specific deeds and they try to corrupt you and get you to do things you don't want to do or whatever. But some of us are keys. Some of us are chosen for definite, very specific things. And when they miss the opportunity and then try to force things, it just gets real bad real fast for them. New ideas are evolving. This is part of your new change in routine. Toxic karmics haunted by their victims. So those of them who did participate in unfortunately taking the lives of others are or will be being haunted by each and every one of their victims. So I hope you don't go around doing that kind of stuff. Toxic karmics kicked out of their hate groups. Jail coming for all of them anyway. Toxic karmics, spells and casting fully blocked by God, of course, and returned to sender by 7 minimally. Their lies are out. These are public exposures coming. This is a surprise for them, but you also have a positive surprise coming in for you. Continue to work on your chakras just in case they try to throw anything at you. Keep yourself aligned. Do your yoga. Do your spiritual baths. Keep your energy and aura clean. But we already know theirs are indefinitely blocked. Toxic karmics caught on film bribing multiple people. That's not going to look good, it's particularly if they try to slander your name, paint you to be something you're not, blacklist you, blackball you. Probably on film making all kind of threats and all of this, and veiled threats that are part of a playbook that is bullet pointed, a playbook of hate and destruction of humanity. And then they get themselves caught on film giving and receiving bribes, planning and plotting. That seems a little ridiculous. Family and friends support and help. Looks like you have a new group of support and family, whether that's angelic or divine support, but you have a positive change coming in that area. For many of you where family is involved, they go off to jail. Old friends involved, they go off to jail. You have a new group of high vibing beings coming in. You probably already got your angelic divine support around you. Check all the incoming contracts twice. We spoke about that. Illegal activity. Somebody will try to make you a bad offer, and you probably already received it or saw through it. You also have a new look coming. This could be an upgrade, change of clothes, hair, anything of the sort. You might be getting a shave if you're a guy. It could be different from the way you might keep your facial hair. Typically, you could be getting a haircut. You could be growing your hair. Different things like that. You could have gained weight, lost weight. Whatever you've been working for, we see positive changes in that aspect. Before we wrap this up, let's see who's been helping you. Let's see who God sent to help you during this time. Expose these karmics for their nasty, nasty deeds, their crimes against humanity, their crimes against you. We see a lot of people going to jail related to trying to harm you, if you vibe with this at all. Vast majority of them seem to be going to jail rather soon. We saw some people going to jail within 2 weeks, 1 to 2 weeks, and we saw some things happening in a couple of days for certain people who are probably more vicious or more thoroughly involved. So God, can you please let us know who have you sent to help your high vibrant collective during this time? Archangel Metatron is here to create the miracles, to bring in the miracles that you were blessed with, that they try to keep you from, with all of this magic in this organized crime system. Archangel Metatron came in to provide the miracles that the universe needs, that Earth needs to get these organized criminals and their group stalking and gang stalking dismantled, their system of organized slavery that they think is behind the scenes and it's not, to expose it very thoroughly to the public. Nobody needs YouTube to do that, stupid. But keep suppressing, that's going to work out well. Keep stealing. Anyway, Zapkiel, surrender. You've already surrendered to the divine, the universe. If you're high vibing and relating to this reading at any time, they're going to be made to bow down to God, basically. They're going to be forced to be humbled and surrender. That's a term they like to use a lot. These demonic people, that you need to be humbled and demonically, but that's going to be shown too. All their phrases and what they mean, their codes and what they mean, their hand gestures and what they mean, all of that's going to be shown. They put themselves on video doing it, explaining it, training people and all of this kind of stuff to harm and hurt others specifically. And they're in many languages, many groups have them, variations of them, they add to them and all of that kind of stuff. And if you're like me, they specifically double down, triple down, and they just make it really bad on themselves, trying to make it bad on an angelic, godly being. Especially with having any spiritual protection, magic, or anything else. Anything else, God? Anybody else down here you sent to humble these demons before they get to hell? All right. And we have liberation. Perfect. What do you know? We have Archangel Jophiel here to liberate God's lambs and the masses. Miracles are taking place to break down this grid. It was technically already broken. We're just in the reveal stage to the public. They're going to be made to bow down before gods and humanity and exposed for the nasty things they've been doing for generation after generation. The people are going to be freed and liberated from their nastiness, and they get to go to jail. So let's get, let me get these cards real quick. Let's get you or they some info. Let's get a couple of cards from this deck, God. I love this deck. It's very interesting. To read it on its own, but I do like to use it as a supplement. But it's interesting. God, can you give us a couple more cards? And then we'll get some initials of some first, middle, and last initials of the people that could be getting arrested or the groups involved that are be going down and getting arrested and such. Whoa. All right. So we have forgive someone now and don't trust them again. You probably have already done that. If you've moved on to this phase, you know that forgiveness is for you and your spirit and not theirs. They have to repay their karma whether you forgive them or not. You owe someone a letter, write it at once. So any of you who have any business to take care of, you need to communicate anything to anybody, go ahead and do that at this time. And then we do see this sickness is surrounding you, but will turn out for the best. And what that sickness really is this demonic energy that's getting cleared out, frankly. You yourself probably are not sick. I definitely read that as an energy thing around you, considering the style of the reading and the energy of the reading. I can't wait for you guys to see the ads that I paid for and how that really works, how Google really works, Google Ads, Beefly, and things like that. I can't wait. I spent $40 on ads and stuff like that, and I cannot wait to show you guys what's really happening with Fiverr and Upworks and everything. Well, you'll be shown. And how that's also coordinated and how you pay for ads, and they're falsely advertised in the U.S. If you say you give somebody something real, it has to be real. So you can't, let's say, create a bunch of fake pages from one country and stack up somebody's order with that. You have to actually put it on a Google ad, yeah? Well, it's going to be a lot of interesting things being found out about how people have been suppressed, how their money has been stolen, and all those kind of things. So the one who cares for you is anxious for a letter. So some of you guys might have somebody around you who's waiting to hear from you, that you would know how that resonates with you. And if you even want to connect with this person, because if it's one of these toxic people, they don't truly care about you. They care about keeping you trapped and enslaved and tugging on your heartstrings so that when all this money come in, they can still use you. So be very discerning. Okay, a reception where you will meet someone. So you could be going out to a party, a place, or any sort of event, just running around in your daily life, but you're going to meet somebody that is important to you during that time. If you made a wish, the wish answer is yes, and the lucky numbers related to it are 15 and 194. And then we have a successful leader who will produce. And we already see that successful leader in the form of yourself and all your business success that you're going to get regardless of all the companies, groups, organizations, and individuals that try to suppress you. You have other avenues because they're not going to exist anyway. But with that said, you also have leadership coming in to help you vanquish these demons that included themselves and involved themselves maliciously in your life, trying to oppress, suppress you, your light, your truth, and anything else that you stand for, which is universal law and justice, truth and light. It speaks volumes if somebody is out there spending so many millions and millions of dollars on one human being to suppress them from telling the truth. That doesn't make it look like you're telling the truth. It looks like you're trying to hide your lies. So God, can you tell us the first, middle, or last initial of people involved or groups or organizations that you might want to be known? M, T, E, V, P, Y, and G. We also have E, C, I, D, O, in and another in. And finally, make sure you check the video I posted at 6 a.m. today. They go up daily. I also do random lives and random uploads. You could be up to 3 weeks back when you get to see these videos and my energy moving towards this. All right, EONJFRS. I also have a meditation channel, same name, just meditations at the end. You can go check that out if you want to align your chakras, vibe, bring in this good energy. Thank you so much for watching today's live. For all you high vibing beings that will actually get to see it, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's wrap this up now. With some inspiration from the one and only creator who put us all here. All right. We have, the Lord is good and his love endures forever. His faithfulness continues through all generations. So, this is one of those things where you commit yourself to God. He's committed to you forever. And that's unbreakable. You have to break it. Like we are born here on this earth, we all have a covenant, or you can't even be born. But anyway, so people break it and they sign these demonic covenants with dust, and they might as well sign to a 4-leaf clover or something like that because they're really stupid. But anyway, I'm not going to get into that. That'll all come out. Seek the kingdom of God above all else and live righteously, and he will give you everything you need. Again, you don't have to make deals with the devil that require payment. They require you to do evil things in order to get paid or be successful. If you walk with God on your divine path and don't try to disrupt and take from others, you will be blessed. Stay on your own path, stay out of other people's lanes, and you'll be blessed. But what we saw down here is a bunch of groups, organizations, and people who thought they could create lanes and create people's destinies, and they're about to have to bow down to God and surrender because they're false and fake. And that is not universal law, and it's not even man's law, other than the ones they corrupt to give them the authority to do that, which are going to change. But congratulations, you have all played yourself trying to still harm, hurt, enslave, in jail, entrap in hospital systems, people that didn't deserve it, all for a demonic regime. You don't even cover 5% of the globe at this point. But with that said, evil's getting vanquished. Good people get to be free, and they get to go live their karmic cycles for the things that they did. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I expect perps only to see this for now until we get to court. But with that said, if you're vibing with this at all and you're a high vibing being, go ahead, give me a thumbs up whenever you're able to see this. I appreciate it. My name is Bree. Go check the other karmic videos. Go check the other videos that uploaded today and the past about 3 weeks. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back real soon. And if not, tomorrow at 6 a.m. Bye.